really need to thank a lot are Phil and Nate Hubbard. So there was an article written about me when I was in 7th grade. Steve Dorchek wrote this article. He's 6'4", 12 years old. He's going to be 7 feet tall. He's going to be the next great player at McKinley, but he can't find shoes to fit him. So, my mom, she would tell the story. We would go to Millette Mall, and there was this guy who says, "Lady, stop bringing that kid here. We don't have anything to fit him." So Nate Hubbard, who's Phil's uncle, says, "Hey, I got you." So my cousin Tom here's he's from Detroit. So we go, there's a shoe store in Detroit called Sibley's. And Phil was playing for the Pistons at the time. So Phil says, "Hey, next time you're in Detroit, I need you to go to this shoe store called Sibley's. Whatever you want, get it." Okay. So we go to the store. I said, "Hey, Tom, I need you to take me to Sibley's." And Helena, were you with us at the time? Okay. So I said, "Hey, listen, we're going to go into the shoe store and get it." We're like, "Yeah, right." And he says, I said, "No, I got the hookup. I got this." And he's like, "Yeah, I got this." Yeah, Phil Hubbard said. He's like, "Oh, come on, right this way." He says, "What do you need?" I said, He's like, and I'm waiting for him to say, "Bring that kid in here. We don't have anything to fit him." He says, No, I got you." So I think we get what? Like, I get 3 pair of shoes or something like that. And he says, and he's waiting. He's like, "I'm not paying for this." He says, No, we got this. It's covered. And Tom says, "Whoa." So about a year goes by. And Phil, I don't know if you guys remember when Phil, "What are you doing right now?" I said, "I'm probably going to go play basketball." He says, "Hey, you want to go to lunch?" Of course. He says, "All right, I got a limousine coming by to get you." Really? All right. He says, "Oh, I got some friends. They're going to pick you up." I was like, "All right, I'll be ready." Right on time. Limo shows up. I get in the limo. It's Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, and Mark Aguirre. Now, I grew up on 2nd Street, block limousines, driving southeast. If you saw a limousine, it was usually behind a hearse. Is there a hearse? No. All right, cool. And so the point. I'm just name dropping. That's all. But Phil was like really important, and Nate was even more important in terms of. We would go to Cavs games, and we would just, to show me the world of basketball from a different side. So I'm very appreciative. I'm going to fast forward. I had so much to talk about.
Tell me, it's important.
Well, actually, that's what. So RJ invites me here to sell a book. He's like, "Hey, make sure you bring your book." I was like, "Okay, yeah." So anyway, and woke up. I would go play basketball. I'd come home, eat. I would go back out, and I'm officiating. Oh, jeez. All right. So a couple of weeks goes by. I'm reffing a game, and there's a kid injured. And I go over to him. I said, "Hey, did anybody tell you, what happens to you when you get hurt when you were in high school and college?" He says, "No, I'm invisible." I said, Nobody ever explained that to you?" He says, "No." So I said, "You know what?" I told my wife, "I'm going to write a book." And she says, "Right." Well, my bigger cheerleaders, and it turned. I created this questionnaire, and it turned into this. My wife, she says, "Instead of making this really long, drawn out thing that you created, why don't you just tell the stories?" Because she's a fan of stories. So what I did was I gathered a list of about 40 athletes, coaches, guidance counselors, health and wellness people. And I said, what are the most important things college athletes need to know? So then I called Coach Trussell. Hey, Coach, do you know of anything else? And decided to put it together in a book to tell the stories of all the things that I wish someone told me. All the things. There's a young lady who's a graduate of Perry, who currently, you're in your last year, Taylor? John Carroll, she's a track athlete. And I wanted the very last chapter to be about her because of COVID. She lost a year of college athletics because of COVID. And thank you for coming, Taylor. She's here basically as a story. And again, the whole point of the book is to help anyone who wants to be a college athlete or is a college athlete, understanding all the things that no one told us, all the things that we wish. TJ, just imagine if someone told you that you're going to get yelled at by a coach, and one coach is going to tell you to do something, and then another coach is going to tell you to do something else. None of those things match up, and then you're going to get yelled at by one of them, and you better figure out which one you better do. It's like, nobody told us that.
You got time for 2 questions?
All right, I have time for 2 questions. Yes, sir. McKinley Barberton at the Civic Center. We went to the state championship. One more question. Yes, sir.
What was your record your last 2 years?
12 and 16 back to back. So it's still but ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate. Do we have time for one more? Gentlemen, one more. This last one.
Until they start yelling at.
I'm sorry?
Did you bring any books for sale?
I brought books for sale.
You'll sign them in the back.
I will sign them. They're in the back. Yes, sir. $10.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you all.